Hey guys, this is Tom Sorsey here, another ball motion analysis video. Today we are talking about the Storm Street Fight. Street Fight is a ball that I think hasn't really been getting a lot of credit. I don't see a lot of people throwing it, and it's one of my favorites, and we'll talk about why today. Street Fight R4S Pearl, it's the Pearl version of the cover stock that was on the original Fight, which makes sense. Iron Cross core, same core. 2.6 RG, 044 diff. Remember, I throw a 16, so these numbers may not be exactly the same if you throw a 15. But again, same cover, different version of the same core as the original Fight. Here's mine. It's a 5-inch pin above the ring finger. There is no extra hole. We are once again bowling on the mystery pattern from the previous video, which was the Phase 2. It's a little more defined at this point. It's had more games on it, so we're going to see a little bit different characteristics, but we might as well get right into it here. One thing you'll notice is that I'm going to be striking a lot more than you're used to seeing in this video because both of the balls that I used today matched up pretty well. The Street Fight here, I see it as a medium friction ball, and I think it's best used as a medium slow response option. You'll see here that I actually had a pretty good look with it, and if you remember from the past video, the Phase 2, which was a high friction ball, was creating too much friction. It was using up energy on this particular pattern. So you'll notice that the Street Fight, similar response time, a touch quicker, but significantly less friction being created, so it is retaining energy and looks much better on the pattern. You'll see me striking like crazy pretty much. I think it's great to use when you see balls like the Phase 2 and the Alpha Crux and similar balls, the Lock, begin to burn up and lose energy. And in a scenario like this, where we still needed something that was slower response, but what we were trying to throw before created too much friction, we don't want to slide all the way to the quick response balls because they may be too quick. However, if we have an option that's still slower, but doesn't create as much friction, it fits into that spot. I use this on a lot of higher friction flat patterns on the fresh when I feel like I have to use angles that are too open with the stronger balls. This allows me to play the part of the lane that I think is best, to keep my angles a little more closed so that I can cover the house crossing pairs through transition better, and I think that that's where it looks best. So the ball that I compared it to today was a rocket ship, and what you'll notice with the rocket ship is that I immediately assumed that it was going to be about the same amount of friction, but much quicker. So let's take a look and see how that looked. So first shot out of the gate, same spot, 3, 6, 7, 10. We see really make a harder turn off the friction. We try to do it again, very similar, 3, 10. So I tried to speed up. I got the speed up, got it a little right, tripped to 4, still much quicker than what we were seeing. So being in the friction, I get this next one a little left, we see what happens, quick response, we leave the 410. So what I had to do was move left into the oil, keep that speed up. So we made the move here, looks great. This next one I get way right, but we see how quick it is, comes off the spot, comes back and strikes. You should have heard what I was saying when I threw that one off my hand. But it just showed how much quicker this rocket ship is in comparison to the Street Fight. So I want to make it clear too, because the last two videos have been slower response time balls. So you see things like on the pattern that I'm bowling on, that one shot gets way to the right, it's quick response, it sees friction, it makes its quick move and it strikes. That doesn't necessarily make it better than the other one, and it certainly shouldn't be compared as such. The fact is that on this particular environment, that particular shot, that quicker response ball gave me room in that area, but that's not something that's going to be more usable than not. Those angles are not usable very often, and it was frankly a bad shot. So what's important to remember is where these balls align to each other. Do we think that our stronger slow balls are too strong? Then we have a Street Fight. Okay, so the Street Fight starts to plaque itself. Now what can we go to? Let's go to a rocket ship. We've got something that's going to save a little more energy, be a little quicker in response to the friction. There's oil down lane now. We need a little bit of help from a quicker response time ball. Okay, maybe the rocket ship plaques. We got somewhere else to go. Maybe the fronts have become so on fire that if we try to throw our quick response time balls, we try to throw our high roads and our high road pearls, they're just jerking left off of our hand. we have to come all the way back down the scale to our slower response time balls. Maybe it's a Street Fight. Maybe it's a Phase 2. Maybe it's a Marvel S if you're going to go old school like me. Maybe it's an Alpha Crux, a Lock, whatever it might be. So it's more important to remember, and I feel like I say this all the time, but I think that it's important. What we're talking about is how these bowling balls relate to each other and how they're best used. And that's the most important thing. It's having our bag of tools physically that we can do. What's our ranges of rev rates? What's our ranges of speeds? What's our ranges of loft, etc. And then we have our other tools, our bowling balls, and being able to take them, knowing where they belong in our arsenal, knowing what tools we can use personally, and try to fit them into what our eyes are seeing on the lanes. Some of you bowl in the same environment 3 games a week, whatever it is, and those decisions are a little easier for you compared to some of us that are out, bowling all over the place every weekend. And that, again, isn't to say that one thing's better or worse, but it's still a smaller version of the same things. Using our eyes, telling us what we're seeing, trying to determine what's happening on the invisible course, gathering all that information, sorting through it, and then trying to make the right decisions. And I tell you what, I'm wrong all the time. And if you've bowled enough tournaments with me, you know that I'm wrong all the time. But I'm learning to use my eyes. I've been learning to use my eyes for a long time. There's guys that are way better at it than me. There's guys that are less experienced at it than me. But that's your best tool, your eyes. And that's what I'm trying to get with these videos. So hopefully that sort of thing is starting to sink in. And hopefully that's why you guys keep coming back and watching. So let's recap. We'll get out of here. Storm, Street Fight. Medium friction factor. It's going to be lower friction than your Phase 2 from the last video, Alpha Crux, Lock, things that are similar. Medium slow response time. It's going to be slightly quicker than what we saw in the previous video, that Phase 2. Definitely quicker than your Alphas and your Locks, but slower than things like your Rocket Chips and your IQ Tours. Once again, hope you guys enjoy these. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/TMSourcy. Find me on Twitter @TomSourcy. Find me here on YouTube, youtube.com/C/TomSourcy. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this. Let me know if you have questions. Make comments. Leave me comments on the Facebook thread, and I'll try to get better and do more things that you guys are looking for. I'm going to try to get a Facebook Live video out here of some of our practice sessions for you. Talk about some of the things that we talk about and a couple of Bowl U things as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.